What is up, gamers? Welcome to another Dragonheir Silent Gods video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Guys, we have a brand new legendary event. This one right here, the Shattered Sorrow, from where you can actually get some free Heliolite dice just by logging in every single day. You're gonna have a small story quest that you gotta complete. And then, of course, you're gonna be able to put your hand on the limited hero Nero, which is a new Fire Elemental Affinity hero. Basically, all you gotta do in order to get a hero is complete these 6 different challenges, right? We're gonna do one in just a second, and then you're gonna be able to collect the legendary hero. You do have the option to get his legendary exclusive, mythical exclusive artifact. I'm keep calling them legendary, right? Basically, they have this exclusive shop. You're gonna be able to get 20 petals or 20 flowers, lotus seals from doing those challenges, which gives you 120 in total, which is the equivalent of half of the actual artifact. So you will require to do at least 30 summons, depending on your luck, in order to get his artifact as well. Now, we are going to have a bit of a look at the character as well. I'm going to go on the test server and check him out a little bit. It's going to be pretty hard to kind of like fit him in a lot of teams at the moment, but he seems like a pretty interesting character. One thing that seems very weird to me, his face here looks like a child, and then when you're looking at the images in the other areas, he looks more like mature, more like a big man, right? So I'm not sure if they've messed something up with the graphics or what, but it looks weird because it looks in one way here and then in a different way here, right? Before we get into that, guys, I just want to let you know that you can still put your hand on free rewards. This event will end in around a week or a week and a half. It's a new bond creator. You can actually click on the link in the description or the pinned comment. Use code Skratch. You're going to help to support the channel and claim free rewards straight away. This will enable me to do tons and tons of giveaways. You guys know it. I've gave away more codes that we can count, okay? And once this event is over, hopefully, we're going to be able to do the same. Now, they've actually introduced the whole thing in-game again, but this time around is actually in a different area. I'm not sure exactly where it was. Somewhere here. Basically, you have the ability to... bonus event, is it this one? Yes. So you go to bonus event and you can even go for the voting. We're going to talk about it in a second. Or link to content creators and claim rewards. You click right here and it's going to bring you to the exact same website, but the website tends to be pretty potatoes, like really bad design, because sometimes it doesn't allow you to select the character, so you might have to use a different browser or go on to desktop mode. And another thing that is happening at the moment that will give you guaranteed rewards, and I'm talking about Heliolite dice. So let's see, final top one, you can get 3 Heliolite dice, Starlight Stone dice, 5 of them, 200 Worm Arrow, Apprentice Scrolls, Scholar Scrolls, and gold. All you gotta do in order to put your hand on these rewards is actually vote, okay? And you gotta log in. You can vote 5 times at maximum. And then every single day when you're voting for those 5 days, you're gonna be able to claim a raffle ticket that will enable you to earn additional rewards. So I don't have to tell you, vote Skratch, because we are going to win the top prize, okay? The Heliolite dice and everything. Every single one of you guys that will vote will actually get rewards. But leaving all that on the side, let's quickly have a look at the limited time hero. Can we actually check him out from here? Check in gallery. So, fire tank that deals fire damage, inflicts debuffs on enemies, and can prevent them from moving. Truth be told, he seems pretty interesting. At the moment, it's a bit hard to kind of like judge it and say he's gonna be OP in all of this content, but he does have the potential to enable us to do some crazy things. So with the passive, when the hero inflicts a debuff on an enemy, also inflicts Empyrean threats on the target for 5 seconds, which will reduce the damage dealt by 10%. And Empyrean threats, unable to move when taking damage for the first time, takes additional attack fire damage and has a chance of being inflicted with a 10% damage penalty for 5 seconds. So that is a pretty good debuff, and is going to inflict these debuffs with his other skills. Now, with a battle skill, slides forward, dealing 320% attack fire damage to enemies in the path with a chance of inflicting healing prohibition for 5 seconds. One thing that's a bit more unclear is what is his range? Is it a square 3x3? Is it a diamond shape? Is it like an arrow shape? You know, it's a bit unclear from what we're seeing right here. But putting that healing prohibition can be very nice versus some particular bosses as well. And just bringing debuffs is good for the passive. Then with the third skill, which covers the entire area, which is really, really good, deals attack damage to all enemies with a chance of inflicting attack penalty. Also grants 25% targets max HP healing to all allies, which is literally a quarter of their HP. Really, really nice once again. Two debuffs, which are actually pretty important. You get the healing and you get damage reduction on the target. I mean, what is it to complain about the character, right? He seems pretty damn good. If we're quickly going to check a bit the actual artifact as well, is it worth getting the artifact? Because it does require us to do summons in order to get it, like with any other event, right? So you have the Lotus Grace, gives you HP and accuracy. When equipped by Naro, grants the following effects. Dealing damage to an enemy with ambient threats, refreshes their ambient threats duration. For each enemy hit by the battle skill movement, the hero receives 5% max HP healing, and this can trigger 3 times per spell casting. So, basically, let's just say you deal damage with your normal skill, right? This will actually refresh the duration of the Empyrean threats, which is really, really good because you're going to keep that damage reduction on the enemy more or less non-freaking stop. Or at least, that's kind of like what I understand from here. That's what the artifact does. Which means that potentially we could use this character in the end game as the main healer, the main debuffer to bring the decrease attack. Heal reduction might not necessarily be something extremely important, but having the ability to heal the team, put the attack down, and of course bring in that damage reduction, I think he can be really, really strong, right? But of course, it does require quite a bit of testing, and I will be doing that testing gradually throughout next week. That being said, let me just quickly show you the new game mode. I'm not going to go over the story quest, the storyline. You guys can do that. You know the drill. But we have this event, which is slightly unusual comparing it with the previous one. So it's kind of like a tower defense game mode. You have those towers on the map. At least you had them in Season 1. Maybe you've completed them all or you haven't. So you have the ability to just bring in whatever characters you want in here. Now, the good thing is that very similar with the other events, they come pre-built. Having artifacts on them does not mean anything. So it's all about bringing in the right characters. So we're going to bring in a lot of burn characters. I mean, a lot. We're going to bring in 3 burn characters that I have available in here. And I can bring in some necrosis characters because fire pairs with necrosis this time around. So we're going to bring in a Premza. And let's see what else we should bring in here that can actually do a bit of damage, right? Why not? So even a Centralia could work, or we can put in an Urzilas, but I don't think I have him fully scrolled, so we're not going to go for that. We're actually going to go for characters that are fully scrolled. And we can go in with Isitarian. Why not? So this will give us more or less everything that we need in order to defeat these game modes. You have waves of enemies coming at you. You got to make sure you're not allowing them to basically pass to reach the end of the line right there, which you can let 10 of them pass, but it's very, very easy. You can just use 3 characters. The main thing that you want to prioritize is having just damage dealers. You do not need any healers, any support characters in here. The more AoE damage you bring in, the better. Now, I'm not really using any free-to-play characters in here, except one of them, but this is my free-to-play account, and I've decided to go for a Scatius on the free-to-play account. And truth be told, I have 0 regrets, okay? I am absolutely melting the Fey Minder waves, guys. Like, I'm one-shotting them with a Scatius. That was one of the main things that I really, really wanted to do, you know, because I was like, I could go in for a Flora, I could go in for a Lelwonis, which is great, don't get me wrong, but let me just pick something new from the new season. So I decided to go with a burn, and absolutely no regrets. This is what will carry my ass through all of the fame in there, all the way to the very top, right? And this is pretty much the game mode. Really nothing too crazy that takes a lot of time. You just chuck in a few characters that have AoE damage, and bang, you get it done. The talents don't matter on them or anything like that. The main thing that you kind of like do want to look at is to make sure that they have their skills maxed, because that will help quite a bit. And we've got 20 of these Lotus Seals. As I've mentioned, you're going to get 120. You get some Warm Arrow. Now, the good thing about this is that you're going to get almost 6 Heliolite dice. So you're going to get 5 Heliolite dice from here, 5.5 almost. You're going to get 120 of these. Plus, you're going to get 10 more from logging in daily. So all you need to really save in order to get the artifact as well is around 15 Heliolite dice. It's literally doing a few days of the Temporal Vortex, and bang, you've got enough to get the artifact as well for free. You don't have to spend a penny. And that is actually really, really good. What I'm going to do right now, guys, I'm quickly going to jump on the test server where I have the character available, and we're quickly going to have a short look at how he actually works. Right, I've pulled Naro on the test server account, guys. He needs 8 scrolls in order to max him. In terms of inspiration, because I know a lot of you guys might be interested, is it worth it? Reduces the hero's damage, is okay-ish. Upon being hit by an enemy, reduces the hero's damage. Once again, nothing too crazy, but it can be helpful. Skill haste, HP, and ignores the target's resistance when inflicting debuffs or control effects, which is pretty good because you don't need accuracy in order to land the debuffs at Inspiration 5. Would I go for full Inspiration on him? Probably not, right? But that's a completely different story. So let's quickly check some of the talents that we can potentially get on him. Something that will enable us to enhance the healing. That would be one of the main things. Takes 10% less damage when the hero has a buff. When dealing damage with the ultimate skill, deals initial damage. We don't care about that. And when healing, grants extra healing equal to 2% of the hero's max HP. That is something that could potentially be more interesting for us. Then the next one, after healing, grants damage reduction. That's good. Increases the max HP. Damage reduction is definitely going to be the more interesting one. Then, when performing healing, grants a bonus healing equal to 10% of the attack. That's actually pretty nice. And what else we have? Ignores 10% of the target's resistance. We don't care about that as much. So I would go like this. And for the final one, increases the healing by 30% for all allies with less than 50% HP, which is really, really good. And that's something that I would probably get, because reducing the ultimate energy will not work on any of those bosses. So I would probably go down on the healing path. Nothing from the other ones really seem to be more interesting. Now, in terms of building the character, I wouldn't necessarily build him for damage, to be honest with you guys. But that's something that a lot of you guys might be tempted to do. I'm just seeing that I think we have the Dark Lady artifact in here. Interesting. But we are looking to see if we have his own artifact, and we do not have that at the moment, so we're going to come back to it later. Now, because I've just gained that talent that enables us to do more healing based on our own HP, we could go for something that gives us high HP. As I was saying, I do not want to build him for damage, okay? I'm seeing him more as a support unit rather than anything else. Seems like we don't even have a proper negative rune to gain that accuracy, which is fine. The artifact will give us some of it. What we can get on him in terms of builds, this is something that will heal him. Nothing too crazy. We could look at different legendary sets. Running the Emissary's Robe, I think, is going to be great, because this will enable us to do more damage when we inflict debuffs. You could run that, for example, on a different character if you want to, and run on him Brotherhood set. That's something that works too. A Tranda's Tenacity set could work as well. You have quite a few different options. The good thing is that he does not require enlightenment, okay? So just for the purpose of the video, we're going to go with an Emissary set. We're just quickly going to check him versus the bots to see how he kind of like performs in terms of landing the debuffs and all that stuff. So I'm not going to do any in-depth testing now. It's just more kind of like checking out the character a little bit, right? So we can get that, get a bit of more accuracy as well. the 500% attack damage is not bad, but he's just not really designed to put in crazy damage or anything like that. He's just into bring debuffs and overall support the team as much as possible, right? And what is this? When the weather successfully inflicts a control effect. No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna buff shield, which is another thing. So you could go with one of these pieces just to keep him alive as a tank, right? If you want to. So basically just tank him up as much as possible. Let's see what's this one doing. Okay, one of each. Let's just say we'll take that. And then we're going back to an emissary piece. And that will seal the deal. And we're looking for accuracy, defense. We don't really care about anything else right here. And I think I've just seen the piece that I want. There we go. Double resistance. Maybe we're going to end up in building him with resistance. But from what I've seen in terms of talents, we do not have the option to get the talent that spreads resistance to the rest of your team, right? So that won't really be a thing, at least not at the moment. One thing that I quickly need to do is basically pick up this artifact and just throw it on him. And then we're going to go and see basically what he's doing with landing the debuffs, the way the passive works, and all of that stuff. So let's max this. And there we go. Plenty of accuracy. Very good HP, actually. A bit of more defense could be good on him. But that is a very high HP. So just the 2% from this one will generate a very good healing for the rest of our team too. Plus the 25% that comes from the ultimate skill. Now, of course, you could try and build him with as much skill haste as possible to make sure that he will go on an 18 seconds rotation. But that's something that you can do later on, depending on whether you're going to plan to use the character and stuff. I cannot guarantee you that we're going to end up in using him in any of the endgame content. I haven't really had a look at the challenge bosses at all yet. We're still like 12 days away on the main server, so it's a bit pointless for me to jump on it right now, but I will be doing it next week. So right here, we don't need all of these characters. We actually just want to see him in action. So where are you, Mr. Narrow? Okay, I guess it's just easier to do this because I thought that he might be somewhere there. Maybe he was somewhere there and I've missed it. So he will have the max HP aura in all battles, which is pretty nice. I don't want to deploy more heroes. Thank you. And we're going to go on 1x speed. I want to see a bit of battle skill as well, how that want to perform. Okay, so he's going in a straight line, and it seems like he stays there. So he put the heal reduction on everybody. And now we've put the decrease attack, but by the looks of it, a passive that brings in the damage reduction is not applying to all of the enemies. You see, I'm seeing it on one enemy right here. It might be because of the artifact, because we're only attacking that one target. So healing prohibition, decrease attack, damage reduction on 1-2 units, not on all 3 of them, right? Which is a bit interesting, or not on all of them, because the ultimate skill actually hits all of the targets. So I'm a bit curious, why is that happening like this and is not being applied to everybody? So we have decreased attack on everybody. The passive did not proc on nobody. The passive proc only on one enemy right here. We haven't increased the duration of that one either, even though we are attacking the target. So either something is bugged, either something is not being displayed properly. You see, you have this damage reduction. You have the attack penalty. That damage reduction dropped is nowhere to be found. We have the healing prohibition on everybody, more or less, but still that thing is not in here. So that was a bit odd. I'm not sure why it's happening as it is. We're going to quickly check that passive again, just in case if we miss something. But from what I understood with the artifact, when you hit somebody that's under a debuff, you're going to refresh the duration of that thingy, right? So when the hero inflicts a debuff on an enemy, also inflicts Empyrean threads on the target for 5 seconds. Now this might only work versus one enemy, because it's not specified when the hero inflicts a debuff on enemies. It's on an enemy, which means that it makes sense what we've just seen. So we are inflicting this with a passive, and then when we are using our actual basic attack and we're hitting somebody that's under a debuff, we are applying it again. I haven't seen it on 3 or 4 targets at the same time yet, right? And the battle skill slides forward, probably is some form of an arrow shape going in. What I'm quickly going to do, I'm going to reduce these bots in here. I'm going to put just 3 of them. And let's see if we can keep that more consistent, right? And with the artifact, when equipped by Naro, grants the following effects. Dealing damage to an enemy that has the Empyrean threats refreshes their duration. For each enemy hit by the battle skill movement, the hero receives 10% max HP healing, and this can be triggered 3 times per spell casting. Okay. So let's see. This time around, we have 3 enemies. Is that battle skill going to hit them all? I would assume so, right? I mean, he's going in a straight line. There are some... Yeah. Okay, so healing prohibition. That damage reduction is not proccing on any of them. So right now we proc that on all 3 of them. Okay, so you can proc it on multiple targets. I guess it might be something with a battle skill. The battle skill doesn't seem to activate that passive. So when we have the healing reduction, that does not apply to it. You see, we have only the healing reduction, the attack penalty, and now we have the damage reduction on 1 and 2 targets, not on the 3rd one for whatever reason. I'm not sure exactly what is happening with it, because it doesn't seem to be consistent at all time on all enemies. This right here, it seems like maybe it procced from the artifact. So he's using the ultimate again. Okay, attack penalty, no damage reduction on any of them. Now he used the battle skill, and we've got damage reduction and healing prohibition on almost all of them. A bit odd. I'm not really sure exactly if it's bugged or something in the description might be wrong, or I misunderstood something related to the way the passive works and the artifact. But I'm not seeing that passive having any sort of a cooldown, right? And there is 100% chance from what I've seen to apply that attack penalty on the enemies when you are actually landing debuffs on them, right? And as you guys probably noticed, we haven't landed it on the left unit, the left enemy, even though we landed a decreased attack on all 3 of them. So that is a bit strange to me. And has a 100% chance of being inflicted with 10% damage reduction. When taking damage for the first time, takes additional fire damage and has a 100% chance. 100% chance. Okay, also inflicts. So is inflicting it unless getting resisted occurs that freaking often, which for whatever reason I kind of like highly doubt it. Like, we're not going versus extremely tanky enemies or anything like that in here. But he does have the potential to be something, okay? By the time the event ends, I'm gonna look and test him out a little bit and see if it's worth getting the artifact or not. Personally, I would strongly recommend you to get the artifact as well. As I was saying, it's super easy to get it, free to play. You're getting literally half of the summons that you need from the event. You just need to add 10 or 15 more summons. You get them from the Temporal Vortex throughout the duration of the event. And you have a guaranteed mythical artifact that, even though might not turn out to be extremely powerful this season, maybe next season he will be better in some content, okay? So that's kind of like how I'm thinking about it. That was all for this video though. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As usual, much love, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.